Hi, today I'll be talking about life on the plains, then versus now. In the 1800s, very few people lived on the Great Plains. It didn't look like it would be a good place for farming. In 1862, the Homestead Act was passed. This act was to help people settle the Great Plains. The government sold adults 160 acres of land for very small amounts of money. If they could farm the land for at least 5 years, they could own it themselves. Settlers came from everywhere, even Europe. African Americans even bought land because it was cheap and they had very little money after the Civil War. They had to learn how to farm this land. The soil was held together by grass roots. This is sod. The homes were built with the sod because there wasn't enough wood to use. Winters were long and cold. Summers were hot and dry. They had to try and find plant crops that could grow with very little water that was available. Some carried water from streams, and some used windmills to pump water from underground. In the 1870s, grasshoppers invaded and destroyed very many crops, so they had to restart. There were many people on the plains, so they had to make new machinery and better machinery as the years went on. So they didn't have to work as hard as they did, and it made it a little bit easier on themselves. Now, life on the plains is very different in some ways. Population has grown greatly. We have irrigation, and now machinery is very high tech. Combines can drive themselves now, and they have air conditioning. Houses aren't made of sod anymore. They're made of all different types of materials. And we don't even have to burn cow patties for heat anymore. And personally, I'm very grateful for that. Can you imagine the smell? We have better transportation and machinery for different activities. And we have better schooling than they had back then. There is so much that the Great Plains contributes to the whole nation. We have things like cows, wheat, corn. Can you imagine the nation not having those resources? It would be devastating and people would starve. I'm glad I come from the Great Plains, where we can contribute to the whole nation and help feed hundreds and thousands of people.